everybody, it's Kimberly Wilkins with We Can Build a Better Hood's Women's Empowerment Wednesday. Welcome. I'm your host, Kimberly Wilkins. We have a guest speaker that's having a little bit of trouble joining, but I'll go ahead and introduce some of the things that we're doing at We Can Build a Better Hood as far as women's empowerment. So we've got Women's Empowerment Yoga at the Botanical Gardens in Fort Worth, Texas. There's Women's Empowerment Program with curriculum for all women of all ages. We have the Women's Empowerment podcast that's coming up, so stay tuned for that. We will be heavily marketing a lot of those events, and stay tuned for more info. So what we're doing today is we're touching on some subjects of topics of how women are empowered. We're uplifting women. Our guest speakers are very successful women. We'll have this live stream every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central, which is 9 Eastern, 7 Pacific. So welcome. Thanks again for joining. Free Abdul Chappelle. So let me see if my guest still having issues here. Sorry about that. You're on. Hey. Oh, no worries. Welcome, girl. Welcome. Okay, so let me just pull our guest into the stream here. I can tell you that I know this woman very well. Is your video on? There it is. Okay, let's see. La la la. Okay. Your beautiful face should be coming up any minute. All right. So I'm just going to introduce you while this is coming up. But this is Lorraine Hutson, and she is my best friend slash cousin. Yes, I introduced her to my cousin, and they fell deep in love and got married. I'll let her tell you all the story. But Lorraine is a California native, and she moved to Texas. How many years ago, Lo? 6 years. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. All right, great. Let's see why you're not coming up yet. This is the first time me using the system, so. Oh, good. All right. I'm just gonna let you talk while I get this figured out. So tell me about yourself. Tell everybody about yourself. What do you do? What have you done? What are you doing? And what is your favorite color? Okay. What do they say? It's not goodbye. It's I'll see you later. That's awesome. That has to be like, you really love the insurance industry, don't you? I know how much you do. Ha ha.
Yeah.
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 That's amazing.
That's amazing.
That's great.
That's
Okay.
great. Okay.
I'm
I'm
almost
almost
there.
almost there.
All right.
All right.
So
So
let's
let's
get
get
down
down
to
to
some of
some of our
our
topics.
topics. So
So
I
I
know
know
you
you
very
very
well,
well,
and
and
I
I
know
know
your
your
stance
stance
on
on
some
some
of
of
these
these
topics,
topics,
but
but
I
I
want
want
to
to talk
talk
first.
first.
Let's talk about
You know what?
what
Do you
do
think
you think
that
that
do
do
you
you
think
think
that
that
women
women
are
are
empowering
empowering
each
each
other?
other?
Do
Do
you
you
think
think
that
that
we're
we're
encouraging
encouraging
and
and
supporting
supporting
enough
enough
towards each
towards each
other?
other?
Why do you
Why
think
do you
that?
think that?
Well, they're very negative towards somebody, and I've witnessed that firsthand. um I don't think I've ever done it.
We're not
We're
that
not that
way. We
way.
build
We
each
build
other
each
up
other
I'm
like
not.
up
I
like
don't
I
know
don't know
anybody else
anybody else
does it
does
like
it
we
like
do.
we do.
I am somebody's biggest cheerleader. Like every day I tell somebody, oh, look at you today, or oh, you did that so good. And it's not fake. I feel like people don't hear enough edification, and everything in the world pulls people down, pushes them down. And why should I be somebody who contributes to hammering somebody into the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know
And
I
you're my
California
California
cheerleader.
cheerleader.
Oh,
That's
I
my
know.
That's
nickname
my
for her.
nickname for
Is
her. Is
my
my
California
California
cheerleader.
cheerleader.
She's
Uh-huh.
She's
always
always
my biggest
she's my
fan.
biggest
And
fan. And once
we
you
call
have
her
we
low.
call her
So
low.
once you have
So
low on your team, you've got your biggest fan.
once you have low on your
You're
team,
amazing.
you've got your biggest fan. You're
Let me
amazing.
go ahead
True.
and
Let me go ahead
Share
and
you.
so what are some of the things?
so what are
Let's talk
some of
about
the
some of the
things?
stuff that we do. What
Let's
do
talk
we
about
do?
some of the stuff that we do. What do we
We
do?
keep each other from making bad
We keep each
choices.
other
That's
from
for
making
sure.
bad choices. That's for sure.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Um,
Um,
Dance.
you're
you're pretty good at
you're
that.
We
pretty good
sing.
at that.
Uh huh.
We
Uh
do
huh.
karaoke in your room.
And
And I don't know.
whenever
Whenever
we're down
we're down
or
or
having a
having
rough
a
day,
rough day,
we tell
we
each
tell
other
each
just
other
how
just how
amazing we
amazing we
are. And
are,
if
and
we
if
think,
we think
because
we get anxiety about
we
we
do
do
big
big
stuff
stuff
at
at
work
work
sometimes
sometimes
and
and
get
get
anxiety
anxiety
about it.
about
And
it, and
I don't
I don't
know
know
anybody
anybody
else
else
that
that
other
other
than
than
my
my
mom,
mom,
and
and you know
y'all
y'all
compete.
compete.
Um,
Um,
that
that
you're
you're
always
always
building me up
building me
and
up and
just
just
making me
making me
believe
believe
that
that
I'm good
I'm
at what
good
I
at what I
do
do
and I'm
and
going to
I'm
be
going to be
great.
great,
And
and
it's an
it's an
amazing feeling.
amazing feeling.
I don't know why you even question it.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
So,
So, what does
women's
women's
empowerment mean
empowerment
to you,
mean to
Lo?
you,
Let's
Lo?
talk
Let's
about
talk
what it
about what it
means.
means.
So
So empowering other
women
women
to do
to
what?
do what? For
Me,
me,
it's
it's
just to
just to bring the best out
of
of
each other.
each other.
And I agree with that. It bring the best out of each other, lift each other up. Again, you know, all too often around us, there's women who have ulterior motives. And I think women empowerment is just knowing the people you're talking to are real, they're true, they're honest, they're gonna, if somebody does something that you don't agree with, it's love and truth. It's not just always pounding somebody down. So I think women empowerment, especially women, and women competing in a man society now
Mm-hmm.
all the time, we're even put down more. We're put down more by other women than men. So I think that women empowering each other is something just lifting each other up and encouraging us to take a step out of our comfort box and feeling confident that we can do it.
That's right. And bringing that out of each other, right?
Exactly.
So, and do you think like women are the hardest on each other because, the way that we dress, and it's such a, it's like a runway out there every time we go out.
I've always said
that way. It'll always be that way.
What do I say? Women dress for other women. We don't dress for the men at the club. We dress for the other women at the club. I've always said that. I believe it in the workspace. I believe it in day to day. Like, and Kim knows this of me. You'll never see me in Walmart in pajamas and slippers. Ever. I won't even go down to the convenience store like that. I have to get.
No, I wouldn't. Pretty busted up to Walmart today.
I won't. We've all had this moment, but I won't do it. You never know who you're going to run into at the store.
You never know. I think actually our first date, not really, the first night that we all hung out with my cousin and now your husband, we went shopping. You have the picture hanging up in your bar.
That was at the liquor store.
That was at the liquor store. It was shopping. Okay.
Shopping, but that was specs.
We were shopping. We were definitely shopping. So I'm gonna just switch gears here. So I want to talk about a little bit about you being a mom. So folks, you've met Lo. She's an amazing human, but she's an even more amazing mother. She's a grandmother too. She's the mother of two. And a daughter-in-law, and soon to be son-in-law, right?
We're just dating. I think he's gonna be my son-in-law. He keeps talking about it, but we'll see. Until he puts a ring on it, we'll see.
We'll see. So tell me about growing up and what's that?
And a stepmom of two others.
And a stepmom too. That's right. Oh, that's right. My family. So tell me what it was like. So I know that you raised the kids with, high amounts of respect and honor. And what is it that you instilled? What key messages did you instill in your kids and especially your daughter too?
Mean what you say and say what you mean, and follow through. Respect people.
Integrity. It's
very much.
Say you're going to do even or do the right thing when nobody's looking too.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. People don't have to have an audience to help somebody or do something. So yeah, I taught both of them that, and I can continue to still preach that. And what can you say to the moms out there raising daughters with the absent father? I don't know, because my daughter's dad, my ex-husband, at that time, he was an amazing father when she was young. Amazing father. So I can't speak to that. Unfortunately, because
my kid's dad is amazing too.
I say, I had a deadbeat dad, because I did not, and I was fortunate that way. We just couldn't be husband and wife.
Yeah.
But as a father, he was amazing.
Right.
I can't speak to that.
Yeah. Well, and I know that growing up, my parents divorced when I was 9, I think. And the one, not the only thing, but one thing that I remember my mom telling me is never, always depend on yourself. Like, don't ever depend on anyone else. Always make sure that you have what you need, and your kids what that you can provide for you and your kids. Because I have 2 kids. I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old. You know them, Kaylee and Carissa.
Yep. My babies.
but that's one thing that I'll never forget her saying was always make sure that you can make it on your own, without support or help from anyone. And it was really hard and has been. I mean, everything is hard.
It is.
But we're getting through it. Right? It helps that they're like the most amazing kids ever.
They are.
But yeah, I remember growing up and my dad wasn't around and I did some dumb stuff, as I was when I was a teenager, and my mom just really had a challenge, and struggled with me and him not being around. And I really think that, that if, maybe if he was held accountable, and said, take your kids, you've got to have your kids sometime, like they need you. And not saying that she didn't, because I'm sure she did quite often. But for him to be accountable and to hold himself accountable and be responsible and take that responsibility for his children and be there for them. And I really needed some discipline.
Really? So
I really did. And my mom is too nice. She's just too nice. That's what I've come up with.
I do have something to say to that. So I was fortunate to where, yes, I acted up. Every teenager does. As women, young girls, boys, whatever, we act up. Everybody's going to act up. I ended up, my daughter lived with her dad and my son lived with me. So I ended up raising a man who's now in the Army. So I did something right.
Yes, and he is. Army strong.
He's been deployed, all that stuff, and decided to re-enlist. He's married, has a 2-year-old, my grandson. But going back to us, I was fortunate. My dad passed away when I was 3. I was fortunate that the man my mom married was there. He raised me and my brother as his children, and he disciplined us, and he expected a lot. So if I was to give some advice, marry somebody like my daddy. I love my dad. That's my dad.
He's married, by the way, still happily married.
Don't marry him, but marry somebody like him.
Oh yeah.
A strong man who believes in family values and is willing to take your child, whether it be a teenager, which is even harder, been there, done that, a teenager or an adolescent, that is willing to take them on and treat them as their own, whether they are or not. It's not what you would tell your daughter, maybe, but more of what I would say, advice for us.
Right. Yep. And if they're going to make that adult decision to, have sex and have a kid, then they need to man up and yep. And I mean, the woman, we have our choices, right? We have a choice. Not everywhere, but
Texas or Louisiana or Florida.
Yeah. Women have a choice. Men really don't when it comes to that. So it's really important for them to be prepared early, because it really helps every. And ladies, if you're gonna marry, have kids, have the white picket fence, make sure you marry your best friend. Marry your best friend. If I could give anybody any advice about love, which I don't know at all, it's marry your best friend, because all these other folks.
I used to have this elderly lady I worked with in California used to tell me this. This was her advice. If you're going to marry somebody, look at him. And when you're pissed at him, can you sit across the breakfast table and still like him?
Right.
Can you still look at him, tolerate him when you're mad? I'm like, every morning, can you look across that breakfast table and look at him? I'm like, well, on weekends, because I don't eat breakfast, but
want to kick him under the table and
do you want to like grab
things
the
to his toothbrush,
or do you want do you still like, okay, I like you. Like, marry somebody like that. Is what she did.
Yes. Yes.
So
that would be my advice. So the messages we talk about values and everything. Boundaries and setting boundaries and the importance of them. Conveying it to our children about setting boundaries. There's a lot of people that don't understand the importance of boundaries, and it's your line in the sand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have, it's going to be hard to have a relationship or even a friendship without some kind of boundaries.
I agree.
So let me see. I'm going to go through a couple of things here with you. What do you want to talk about? What you want to talk about?
I was gonna say, I don't know how old most of the women on here are. I'll just say
All ages.
I'm 47, closer to 48, a couple months already. But
You look not a day over 25, girl.
I told you I was 29. I need to
Oh, 29.
anyways. But what I'm trying to say is, growing up, we were taught, you always respect, going back to your boundaries is where I'm going back. I was taught, my family was taught, Hispanic family, that adult says something, you do it. You don't go, oh, they spanked me. Neighbors would spank other neighbors' kids.
Right.
Things like that. They would discipline them or whatever. And that makes for an easy way for people to take advantage of children.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think just setting up that, just because they're an adult doesn't mean they're right.
Right.
You respect them, but doesn't mean they're right. Would be good.
Because not that we're the worst, but because we're adults giving advice and the Carissa just showed up.
Hi, baby girl.
Aunt Lo.
Let's see.
All right. So I'm just gonna move ahead
They
because what's that?
Does anybody have questions they want to ask, or I'm open book.
We've got somebody that says hi, ladies. Oh, it's Tessa. So Tessa says hello, and Tessa is with Build a Better Hood. We can build a better hood. Abdul Chappelle's daughter. Hi, Tessa. Thanks for watching. So just to kind of close us out, our way. I've got a couple of. So you love music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who in your genre, doesn't matter who or what genre it is, who would you say will go down in your opinion as the greatest of all time female artists?
Oh, Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
Nicki Minaj.
Carissa's
I
different.
hear Whitney Houston without a doubt.
Taylor Swift.
I can have my top three.
Top three. Okay, top three.
Whitney Houston, Cher, and oh God, who's my next one? Patti LaBelle.
Ooh.
First, Patti LaBelle, Whitney Houston, Cher.
Ooh, that's a good one. She's a good one. She's a good one. Let's see. I'm trying to think of my three.
Go with your top because there's so many.
I know.
I keep naming them because then I feel like I'm cheating on the others.
I know. Well, I have mine like Mariah Carey. I have loved Mariah Carey's music.
I love Mariah Carey too.
Female artist. I have so many favorites.
See?
Definitely Whitney Houston. I rest in peace. I like Sophia Carlberg. So I don't know if you've ever heard of her music.
Very
Um,
very sultry.
it is. She's
I love
amazing. And she has a voice like I've never heard. Now, as far as being for her voice, she would be in my top three. But as far as being a female artist, of course, Madonna.
Love me some Madonna.
I mean, I don't know about her new stuff.
Oh no, it's old school Madonna. 80s all day.
I don't know. Does she have new stuff?
She does. Yeah, it's
And then I have about 15 female rap artists that I would like to put in my top three. That's just me, though.
I know. Hey,
All
I
right.
love Missy Elliott. Always have, always will.
Do you have? Oh yeah, Missy Elliott. I haven't heard her name in a minute. So do you have anything that you want to tell people about insurance, when they should get it, where they should go, who they should call?
Don't do it online by yourself. Find an agent.
Please don't.
Don't do it online by yourself. Find an agent. Find an agent. Doesn't matter who. Independent agent.
What about your agency?
Mine is Momentum Insurance. And Kim can send you my phone number. I'm happy to take calls. I have my card. But I would just say find an agent. I always suggest buying flood insurance if you live here in Texas because, well, even though people say I never flooded, guess what? They are building houses around everything. So the water is flowing in different ways now.
Mm-hmm.
So you may flood.
You know what? Not only that, we were just talking about it today. The girls and I, we saw some guys mowing, and they were blowing all of the grass and leaves into the gutters, like into the ditch. And I was like, well, there goes our next flood.
Yes, exactly.
So even if you've never flooded, it could happen.
It could happen.
Low.
People don't realize that. Auto insurance, unless you own a lot of assets meaning more than just your homestead, more than your vehicle that you drive to and from work. If you own vacation properties, if you own boats and extra toys and things like that, then increase your limits. Other than that, any attorney usually is only going to go out, especially attorneys for accidents, they're going to go after your maximum. So if you have state limits, they can't go after your job, they can't go after your home, and they can't go after your one car here in Texas. So you can do that.
Low is who you need to talk to if you need insurance. She's got you at a low rate, best coverage.
Rates have increased so much right now. Most increases are 25 to 75%.
Mm-hmm.
That is what the rate increases right now. And it's just because of where we are in our economy. How much is that 2x4? Wait, how much is that gas to drive that 2x4 to the site that it needs to be rebuilt? So reconstruction cost is gone up a lot.
Oh, that's why my bill went up $100 over the last year.
Yep. And most people is over $300 a month. So $500. I saw one, it literally went up $2,000 today. Like doubled. And it's a lot of carriers are getting out of this area in the Gulf area. I don't know where everybody's at, but we're in the Gulf. And so a lot of carriers are getting out of here. A lot of carriers are going bankrupt and they're leaving Texas altogether.
Wow. And then if there's a storm in the Gulf, forget about it. They won't even write policies, right? They won't even take your money.
20 parallel, we can't write it.
Wow.
I remember that happening.
So
I remember that
do it
happening.
before it's too.
Or something.
What was it? Rita or something. What's that?
Yeah.
What did you say?
I
What'd you
said,
say?
just remember, do your flood insurance early. It's a 30-day waiting period. If you want it for that time, do it before the hurricane season starts. However, we get these fluke storms every April, May. We get these huge windstorms that are not hurricanes, but they're hurricane-rated wind. always be.
I think
Yeah,
All right, my Wi-Fi is getting bad.
because you don't want it
I'm
until you
gonna
need
go
it.
ahead and say goodbye. Lo, thank you, love you. I'm so glad that you joined me, and it was so great hearing about everything that you do and that you're doing. And thank you for the advice to all the other women out there. And we call it woo, women's empowerment. I'm dark.
You're frozen,
But stay tuned,
Kim.
everybody. Women's Empowerment Podcast, the Women's Empowerment Yoga,
All right.
Fort Worth at Botanical Gardens, and
All right.
then also our Women's
My
Empowerment Program, the curriculum that we've built for women of all
Wi-Fi is
ages.
getting bad.
So thank you for supporting us, and have a good night.
Oh, thank you. Love you. I'm so glad that you joined.